So the small intestine has folds in it, and then those folds have finger-like projections called villi, and on those villi, there's micro finger-like projections called, well, microvilli. And so when you look at this absorptive surface in that 22 feet long tube, you basically have about 2,700 square feet of surface area so that you can digest and absorb all those nutrients. That, just to put that into perspective, into regular speak, 2,700 square feet is about the size of a tennis court. So if we were to say this half of the room, it's about that much surface area in every single one of our intestinal tracts. Now, you might have all heard about good flora is good for you. If anybody turns on TV, you'll probably see a commercial that says that Activia is good for you, or this yogurt or that yogurt is really good for you. It's because we also have healthy or unhealthy intestinal bacteria. And there's actually quite a lot of intestinal bacteria living in our guts. In fact, it's estimated we have something like 100 trillion organisms in our intestinal tract. Now, just to put that into context, that's a 1 with 14 zeros behind it. Just to put that into context, if you were to take that number of bacteria and compare it to the number of cells we actually have in our body, it's about 10 times more bacterial cells to one of our own human cells. So there is a lot. And so with all those bacteria, your body has to deal with that. And with all that digestion going on, your body has to deal with that. So we have this thing called the enteric nervous system. It's where about half of your nervous system lives. It helps to control that digestion so that you can get nutrients in. This is again why it's called the core, because if you don't get food in, the rest of the body's not going to do very well. Also, with all that digestion and all those bacteria, you need to be able to decide what's good for you and what's not. And so you've got a lot of an immune system going on there. The immune system, about 70% of the immune system actually lives in the intestinal tract as well. They call that the GALT and the MALT, meaning GALT is gut-associated lymphoid tissue, meaning there's a cell of the immune system that lives around the intestinal tract, and MALT is mucosal associated lymphoid tissue. You can see why I call it MALT and GALT, it's easier to say. But those are the white cells, those are the immune system that live in and around the intestinal tract so that you can decide what is good for you and what is not good for you. And these things actually signal the rest of the body on what to do. So it's very important. So that microflora, crucial to health. Now, wouldn't it be good to support that microflora with things? So let's talk about now we talk about the anatomy and the structure and what's actually happening in the small intestine. Let's look at what it does. It digests. It absorbs. It helps with acid balance, because all that acid coming from the stomach has to be neutralized. That happens in the small intestine. You've got your immunity, you've got GALT and MALT, and you've got the flora. So how can you actually package these things like on the conveyor belt so that you can digest and absorb them? Well, the small intestine massages it so it can get really well mixed up so you can digest it. The kale, the wheatgrass, and the dandelion actually help to improve the liver flow, and they also have fiber so that the intestinal tract can exercise. In fact, fiber is like exercise for your gut muscles. Spirulina and chlorella are loaded with protein, fats, and vitamins, which actually nourish the body. They give you more of those nutrients when you eat them. And they also help to absorb toxins that the liver dumps so that you can make sure that you actually excrete it. Because if you don't excrete it, your body will reabsorb it. It's kind of efficient that way. Black cumin seed, black raspberry, or black cumin, cranberry, and milk thistle have an anti-inflammatory effect on the body and have a systemic effect in the body. Now, black cumin also enhances immune reactions so that your body can stop fighting itself. So if you want to enhance an immune reaction, it actually helps you to stop fighting itself, which would be eczema and asthma and things like potentially autoimmune diseases, and fight more on being able to fight germs and bacteria and viruses efficiently. Aloe vera is very soothing, helps with the absorption, and also all of these things put together actually encourage healthy gut flora and also nourish the body, which is why they're so perfect for the core of the body. And the large intestine, after it leaves the small intestine, it goes to the large intestine. The large intestine is named for its diameter, not its length. And when you take care of the large intestine, it's designed to be able to absorb everything else. So everything that the small intestine absorbs is things like the protein and the fats and the carbs. The large intestine is tasked with digesting and absorbing the water and the minerals, and is also designed to compact all the waste so that you can properly excrete it. Now, if you have the right kind of food and you give the right kind of nutrients to the large intestine, it can translate into other nice things, nice effects. For example, it can translate into losing inches around your waist. It can translate into less bloating. It also translates into maybe shedding some extra water weight. Now, wheatgrass juice is actually rich in trace minerals, so the body will start to absorb those trace minerals here. It also has been used successfully in assisting the treatment of ulcerative colitis. Spirulina helps to improve accumulated waste removal. It actually helps to bind to it. Dandelion ribbon leaf. Dandelion actually has a compound in it called inulin, which ferments in the colon, which doesn't sound very good, but when it ferments there, it actually improves the colonic bacteria. Cranberry, when relating to colon cancer, and cancer is a whole other conversation, but cranberry actually has these things in them called anthocyanidins and proanthocyanidins. You might have just heard about them, which actually act as antioxidants, but not only, and the antioxidants, the proanthocyanidins actually help to improve programmed cell death or apoptosis, but also has anthocyanins, which block enzymes which are known to promote cancer. And it also has another compound that is an anti-proliferative, which is cytotoxic, meaning it kills cancer cells, to cancer cells. So this is a nice thing that helps to reduce the risk of a cancer and improve treatment with other cancer treatments. Aloe vera is extremely soothing and also inhibits oxidative damage in ulcerative colitis. So the body's core, if it gets backed up, it's going to cause you a world of hurt. Bad digestion, bad absorption, toxin buildup. It can influence your body and create a bad immune response. It can change your mood. It can make you break out with skin stuff. It can make your lungs more inflamed and more likely to have lung problems. It can affect your bones and joints and make you more likely to be arthritic. Maybe not the wear and tear arthritis per se, but it can make you more achy and have pain. If your core is backed up, it's going to create immune system difficulties where you're more likely to be inflamed. And if your core is backed up, it's going to mess with your hormones. Guys, it's going to mess with your testosterone. Girls, it's just going to mess with you from top to bottom. And so it's best to have that core functioning well. And as you have that core functioning well, you can have better health. So that's why we're here, isn't it? So my wife and I decided she wanted to start exercising, just to finish up. She wanted to start exercising and she wanted a workout buddy. So I volunteered. I said, hey, I'm the perfect workout buddy. And because I like lifting weights and I like running until my legs are mush and I like to sweat. You can see me sweating now, but that's because of the lights. And so she put in a beginner DVD. And so we started doing basic core exercises. Little tiny crunches, puny core stretches. I had to keep my navel back towards my spine. And after 15 minutes, I wasn't glowing. I was dripping. I was sweating buckets. And I felt like I was going to die. And the reason is because all the workouts that I'd been doing weren't focusing on the core. And I realized that I hadn't been focusing on the most important part of our physical bodies. And so I learned 2 lessons. Number 1, don't trust your wife when she says she wants an exercise body. And number 2, you want to strengthen and nourish your core. So, thank you all for your time.